Lindsie Chrisley is back in headlines after a DUI arrest update out of Georgia, and the confirmed public record is more specific than the first headline makes it sound. The former Chrisley Knows best personality was arrested late May 23rd into the early hours of May 24th in Cherokee County, Georgia, and public reporting lists several alleged driving offenses connected to the stop. She was released hours later after posting bond, and she has already given her own explanation for what she says happened on the road. But the part that still matters is what has not been publicly shown yet. Lindsie says the situation began when she was trying to avoid another vehicle and an animal on a two-lane road. That explanation addresses why she says she was speeding and passing, but it does not yet answer every question raised by the full list of allegations, including DUI less safe and attempting to elude police. That is where the legal record, not online speculation, becomes important. According to public reporting based on jail records, the listed allegations include DUI less safe, attempting to elude police, improper passing, reckless driving, and speeding. She has not been convicted of those allegations, and this should be treated as an arrest and legal matter in progress, not a final outcome. At this stage, the clearest confirmed status is that she was booked, released, and says she plans to fight the charge. The phrase DUI less safe is also important. In Georgia, that wording does not simply mean that a public blood alcohol number above 0.08 has been released. It centers on whether authorities allege that a person was under the influence to the extent that driving was less safe. Public reporting has not yet laid out the full police narrative, any court-tested evidence, or a final ruling. For verified entertainment updates without the rumors, subscribe to Startline Entertainment. The first confirmed public timeline begins on Saturday night in Cherokee County. People reported the arrest time as around 10:25 p.m. on May 23rd, while other coverage described the booking window as early Sunday morning. Because those details are being reported slightly differently, the safest way to frame the timeline is late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. What does appear consistent is that Lindsie was released only a few hours later. Her own public response came through TMZ, which first reported the story. Lindsie said she was on a two-lane road and was passing another car. After that car nearly hit an animal. She described the situation as an attempt to avoid the other vehicle and whatever animal was in the road. She also said she intends to fight the charge. That statement gives her side of the encounter, but it does not close the legal questions because the listed allegations still have to be handled through the appropriate process. The reason this story spread so quickly is partly because of the Chrisley name. Lindsie is the daughter of Todd Chrisley and his first wife, Teresa Terry, and she was part of the Chrisley Knows Best world before building her own public platform as a podcaster. Her family has spent years in public legal headlines, especially after Todd and Julie Chrisley's federal case, conviction, prison sentences, and later presidential pardons. But that family history should not be treated as evidence in Lindsie's current case. It explains public interest, not legal guilt. The timing also came after several weeks of public attention around Lindsie's personal life. On her podcast, The Southern Tea, she recently discussed a year-long commitment to celibacy and self-healing. Separately, David Landsman, who has been connected to her publicly, was arrested in April in a different Georgia legal matter. That earlier case is separate from the Georgia driving arrest, and it should not be blended into the current allegations as though one proves the other. That distinction matters because celebrity coverage often turns separate timelines into one dramatic narrative. Here, the verified story is narrower. Lindsie was arrested in Georgia. Authorities listed multiple alleged traffic and DUI-related offenses. She was released hours later. She gave an explanation for the traffic stop. And as of the latest public information, the case has not reached a final legal outcome. The strongest unanswered question is not whether she has commented. She has. The real unanswered question is what records will show next. Did authorities document officer observations? Was there testing? Were there additional details behind the attempting to elude allegation? Will any charge be reduced, dismissed, or formally pursued as listed? Those answers have not been fully established in the public record. From a public image standpoint, this is also a difficult moment because Lindsie's name is already connected to a family that viewers associate with legal headlines. That makes restraint especially important. It would be easy to package this as another chapter in a broader Chrisley downfall, but that would overstate what is known. The fairer read is that Lindsie is now facing her own separate legal issue, and the public record is still developing. There is also a practical reason to avoid rushing the conclusion. Traffic and DUI-related cases can change after the initial arrest report. Prosecutors may evaluate evidence differently. Defense attorneys may challenge the stop, testing, procedure, or charge language. A person may also contest the allegations without the public seeing every document behind the scenes. Until a court record or official update clarifies what happens next, the safest conclusion is that this remains an allegation-based legal update. What is confirmed is that Lindsie Chrisley is no longer just trending because of family history or podcast comments. She is now back in headlines because of a Georgia arrest tied to a late-night driving incident. What is also confirmed is that she is publicly disputing the situation and says she plans to fight it. What remains unclear is the full law enforcement account, the evidence behind each listed allegation, and the next court step. For now, the verified summary is simple. Lindsie Chrisley was arrested in Cherokee County, Georgia, released hours later and listed in public reporting with DUI less safe and several traffic-related allegations. She says the stop came after she tried to avoid a roadway situation involving another car and an animal. No conviction has been reported. The next meaningful update will not come from speculation. It will come from records, filings, or an official statement that explains where the case goes from here.